So I'm doing another Farm to Fork video. Why not? I've been trying to figure out things to do with my little cute Instapot because it's really small for one or two, and I'm learning to cook for one. And I'm just cutting up garlic to start off with. As anybody knows, that I like to use the fresh stuff. I don't like to use the store-bought stuff, but I just cut it one way, and so I have little pieces all going one way, and then I don't know, am I in the shot? I don't know. Actually, you probably can't see what I'm doing. There. So I'm just going to go the other way. Yeah. So you go one way, then the other way. And it's just the garlic I had left over in my refrigerator. I brought it in from the van. I had to throw a lot out, which I really hate to do with garlic, but it had got really dry from being in the van, and it had expired. So I just picked up all the pieces I had left, including the really tiny ones, to make up the garlic that I needed for this recipe. So I'm going to saute the garlic and the onions in the Instapot. I'm just going to put that in there now. It is on, so it's getting hot. Yeah, it just hit saute is all I did. It should be going. Onion. So I'm going to use a whole onion because I did a half of one last time and it just wasn't enough. There, you can see that. Okay. So I usually just cut it, I cut off the end, and I just cut it in half. And I always keep a bowl for my trash or my extras. Little, like, you just pick off the peel. But I always like to get a bowl handy, and that's what I use. And then I put that in the compost because the compost makes excellent dirt and it's really good for our planet. But if you're into tomatoes, compost makes the best juicy, flavorful tomatoes. That's the secret of a good tomato, is compost dirt, black dirt. And I do another trick. I do companion gardening. Planting a basil plant near your, with your tomato plants will also enhance their flavor. That's an old Midwestern trick. So once you do that, you cut the other way. And I am going to just do the whole onion because last time I thought half of an onion wasn't enough. I am doing something different. I'm winging the whole thing, but I know it'll be good because I like to eat healthy, but I also like to do vegetarian kind of style. So, man, I should have lit a candle to get these fumes. But if you do wait till the end to cut that's the part that has the fumes in it, is the root. But this is going to have lentils, chicken. I'm going to put a lot of really good, like Indian and like East or North, actually it's North African seasoning in it. Because I'm really wanting something to pop tonight. I've got the Christmas music going. I've got a diffuser going with orange and that's just saying that the sautés up. Orange and lavender, which is a wonderful scent. I'm just trying to get myself in a good mood here. Cooking for one isn't always fun, you know. So, oh boy, that already smells really good. And so I'm gonna go ahead and keep that stirring. Just one little Instapot. I mean, it's amazing how tiny this thing is. I'm used to using a great big family one, but this thing is great, and it's good for the van because it's small. So all I have now is onion and the garlic in there, and let that saute. I'm going to add to it. These are really good tomatoes. I'm going to show you the brand. This is my favorite brand of tomatoes because it's very flavorful and it's canned. And I've already used half of the can, so you know it's about it's just like a normal 15-ounce, 16-ounce can size left. I like to use leftovers when I cook, and so this is what I had. So that's what I'm using, and that is a good flavor. So I'm going to also add my chicken. not really touching the chicken. If I touch the chicken, I always wash my hands because I don't like to cross-contaminate. Chicken is really one of those things that once you touch it and then you touch a utensil or anything, or in my case, a glass of wine, you might spread it. Red wine, oh my God, so good. Okay, so I'm also going to go ahead and add my seasoning, and I'm just wanting a lot of flavor tonight. I'm going to do a half a teaspoon of turmeric, and I'm going to switch to a full teaspoon, not tablespoon, teaspoon of coriander, full one of that. So 1 teaspoon of coriander and 1 teaspoon of cumin, 1 teaspoon of paprika. Everyone knows what paprika is. And 1 teaspoon of Gran Marsala. This is the one that is the North African. So I'm going to add just 1 teaspoon of that, and it's harissa, and it will give it really a nice flavor. Trying to get that level though. And then I'm going to add 1 teaspoon. This is an Indian spice that I like to use, and I have to order this one on Amazon. There. 1 teaspoon of that. And so this will also season the chicken because I didn't pre-season the chicken. Sometimes I will salt and pepper the chicken ahead of time, but I did not do that because I don't think it's going to be needed with all my seasonings that I have in here. So I'm just giving that a good stir, and I'm going to add, I'm also adding squash to this. I cut up butternut squash, but I'm not going to add a lot of it because I'm adding about 1/3 cup of lentils to this mixture, which is a really pretty major Indian thing to do, but it just will add a lot of nutrition, protein, and tastiness. You know, I want something that's kind of a comfort food tonight. So get that going. And so I'm going to go ahead now. Oh, ginger. I want to show you how to do that. And ginger is one of my spices. Ginger people find it really hard to peel. They try to do it with a knife. I think the best way to do ginger is with a spoon, and you just do this and you take off the skin. It's to me, it's the best way. It comes right off, and you don't waste it because ginger is kind of expensive. If you do insist on using a knife, just keep those pieces and make a nice tea out of them, so you don't waste them. Because you don't want to eat the skin. Skin is very, I don't know. It's not a good texture, and it's not a good flavor. So I'm peeling this whole thing very quickly, as you can see. There you go. It's done. The whole ginger, and that was with a spoon. And then I just throw away my composted, the rest of it. And then this part, you can either grate it if you want something, if you need it fine. You can cut it, or you could even use a potato peel like this. I usually just cut it because I'm putting it in an Instapot, and it's going to cook it pretty much down, so I don't have to worry about it being too strong. But ginger is one of my favorite flavors, and something I don't want to go chintzy on because it is a favorite of mine. So again, I just cut it one way and then I cut it the other way. Just like this. There we go. I'm going to actually save a few pieces for tea for later. That's for my tea. Okay. And these, I'm just going to throw in these little pieces that I shaved off. And so that will go in as a seasoning. This is going to be really flavorful tonight. So it's on saute. I'm going to turn it to instead pressure cook, and I'm going to pressure cook it for 5 minutes because it has the lentils and the chicken in it. And then what I'm going to do is open it up and add, I'm going to add some of this coconut milk. I'm going to add about 2/3 of a cup. That's what it looks like. And I'm going to add my cut up butternut squash, which is about 2 cups. And the way that sometimes if you want to cook butternut squash ahead of time in the microwave, it makes it really easy then to get to just scoop it out. But because of the way I'm doing this, I actually just use a potato peeler to get this. And this is the fat, the bulby end that's the hardest, and I save the good long end for something else. So I got that. These 2 things are going to be added after 5 minutes. And so is my lime. And I had really old limes that were really hard and hard to get juice out of. And so a trick to that is just microwave the lime itself. And then once it's microwaved, you can just squeeze the juice out, even if it's a hard one, because sometimes they're just not the best at the store. But there you go. That's how I'm going to add my full lime to it. And those 3 things will go in together. And then I'm going to cook that just 3 minutes, and it will be done on the pressure cooker. I also want to show you the seeds from the squash. I'm going to season these with salt and pepper. I also could do any international. I've done those as well, or sweet and as well as sour on those pumpkin seeds, or in this case butternut squash seeds. You can do something with all of them. So tonight I'm going to have a little feast with my seeds and my stew with my chicken and my lentils. So I'm going to put the lid on, and I'm still wearing the neck brace and my voice is still off, but you know, it is what it is. I'm also going to add salt towards the end. I'm going to add about half a teaspoon of that. So 5 minutes. I have to stop it and then pressure cook, and then add 5. Okay, so in 5 minutes, I'm going to add and the lime and just a half teaspoon of salt. And then I will have a feast. So, bon appetit. Another mini pressure cooker recipe. Oh, and put on Christmas music when you cook. I mean, it makes it so much better.